Wow, the left are really eating themselves up. When you depend on feelings to determine reality, well, it just doesn't add up. I've been reading threads on Twitter and blog posts where transgender extremists and lesbians, as well as some gay men, are absolutely ripping into each other. Formerly they're allies, but now they're enemies. You see, binary simply means two genders, male and female. Homosexuals do realise they need binary to exist and be legitimate if their sexuality is to be validated. Now, as you know, lesbians are women who are attracted to other women. Homosexual men are attracted to other men. It's only logical that if there's no gender, or if gender really is fluid, as the activists want to say, then there's no such thing as lesbian, gay, or even a heterosexual, because all of those descriptions need binary to be legit for them to even exist. Trans extremists, on the other hand, are stuck. Either everyone is transgender, as in on a spectrum, or binary really does exist, and they are either male or female. For crying out loud, they even describe themselves as male to female, and vice versa. But some take it further. For some, male to female transgenders, they want to be acknowledged as real women, and vice versa. That legitimises binary over spectrum, whichever way you look at it. Others are comfortable being men, imitating or impersonating women, and vice versa. Either way, male and female must exist and is completely justifiable no matter which side of the argument you are on. Following the arguments on social media is quite something, to say the least. The logic from the radical trans extremist, it just doesn't stack up. Staunch lesbian feminists are up in arms trying to defend their position as women. They say they are women attracted to other women. They don't want to accept or date or acknowledge biological men who identify as women. Fair enough, I say. The trans women, those born male who now insist on being called a woman, hurl insults at the lesbian feminists, calling them Terfs, bigots, transphobic, and plenty of other insulting and vile names. See, being called a Terf is apparently the ultimate slur. It stands for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminist. Trans activists sling it around in an attempt to insult women who think that you do have to be born a woman to be considered a legitimate woman. It is mostly driven by male to female trans extremists who are desperate to be considered as legitimate. The extremists attempt to paint themselves as victims, that they're excluded and hardly done by. They cry foul that even though they are scientifically and biologically blokes, we should accept the reality that they are women if they want to be. The two simply cannot coexist. Either lesbian feminists will win, or radical trans extremists will convince everyone to throw logic out the window. Why should women be forced to accept that biological men can become women if they feel like it? Should heterosexual men be forced to date these trans women because they say they're a woman? Should lesbians be forced to date a woman who has a penis? Should these trans women, who do, in most cases, still have a penis, really be allowed to participate in women's sport and access women's services? If you support this, you can be accused of supporting the oppressive male patriarchy. If you don't, you'll be called a Terf. Who will win? However this unfolds, it's shaping up to be one very messy fight.
Authorised by Kira Lee Smith, Gender Awareness Australia, Melbourne, Victoria.